Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is RJ. So today is going to be a bit more of a technical video as we take a look at the Lightning node again. So keep watching. Okay, hi and welcome to another video. Okay, so just to start with, remember that all links to this video will be in the description, and obviously now that I have my Facebook page, come and check that out because there are videos that are being posted on there which I am no longer posting on YouTube. So if you want to keep completely up to date, check out my Facebook channel, and that link is also in the description. Okay, so let's get on with the video. So the Lightning node, as you guys will know, I've done a few videos on this subject. Namely, the most popular one seems to be on how to actually build one of these Lightning nodes. For those of you that are new to my channel, or even if you just find this an interesting subject, I will put a video, in fact 2 videos in the description. Go and check them out. They are basically, one is how to build the Lightning node, and then the other one is just a follow-up from that. Okay, so go and check those out. But anyway, let's get on with this video. So as always, I try and keep up to date with everything that's going on, especially to do with the programs that we use. And I happened to come across this page, which is something that I check in on regularly just for updates and stuff like that. And I happened Okay, so first things first, what are you going to need to do this OS upgrade on the Raspberry Blitz? So you're going to need a couple of pieces of you're going to basically need a piece of software, which is this is the Balena Etcher, and what this does is when you download the image file for the operating system, you will need this to copy that image file on to your existing SD card that is currently residing in your Lightning node. Obviously, if you haven't built a Lightning node yet, you don't need to start off at version 1.1. Just basically go and download 1.4 and stick that straight onto your Lightning node. So you're basically, you know, off to a flying start right from the beginning. So so you will need this piece of software, and then also basically what you're going to need is you're going to need the image file of the operating system, and I'll show you where to get that from in just a second. So basically this is sort of like the menu to the Lightning node. They have updated and added a few things, which is cool, because obviously, you know, the whole thing is that trying to push this forward, and you know, for those of you that don't even really know what the Lightning node is, basically Bitcoin, because of its design, it is not the fastest currency or cryptocurrency for transactions. So to basically be sent through into cyberspace, and for whoever is expecting it, for them to receive it. So the Lightning network is basically an answer, or a possible answer for this. So the idea is that basically it breaks the transaction down differently, basically, and then it basically sends it off, and it's just a much faster transaction. That a lot of people have got in on this already in the way of big companies. Amazon, I believe, have hooked up to it. Quite a lot of other companies as well. I actually, Amazon is the only one that currently springs to mind. But if you go and look, there are no end of outlets that do use the Lightning network. Obviously, at the moment, it's still very much in its infancy, so and that is why they keep putting these updates out for the operating system, basically trying to improve things, add more, think more usability to it, and all that kind of stuff. So this is another thing that comes with it. This is from a different company. It's called Ride the Lightning. Basically what this is a graphic user interface for your Lightning node. So basically, this is sort of what you'd be looking at on the actual node itself, but through web browser, using your IP address with the suffix of 3000 at the end of it, you will basically end up here. And then all the information that is on your Lightning node is accessible. You can even deposit, withdraw everything from this, which is basically how I do it, because trying to sort it all through the node, it's not that easy, but through the GUI it is a lot easier. Okay, so some of the things that come with the Lightning node, so Tor, which is brilliant for anonymity, keeps you concealed, all that kind of stuff. The only problem is if you are using it to say you want to use it to make money, not necessarily and not necessarily just transfer money or receive money, but you actually want to hook up to like other businesses and have them use your node as sort of a pathway for their transaction, which you will get paid for. Using the Tor option, unfortunately, you will find it very difficult to sort of hook up to channels because it keeps you concealed. It basically makes it very difficult for you to connect to other nodes. But you know, obviously, horses for courses, depending on what you're using the node for, Tor could be very useful. So one of the other good things is the BTC Pay server. So this sort of works a bit like PayPal, but using the Lightning node. And if we go here, this is basically what you get if you click on the link. There's a very nice little 1 minute and 40 demo video. You can check that out. Gives you just a quick update, or not update, but an idea of how the program works, what you'll gain from it, and things like that. But what it does is it allows you to, if you're a business or even just basically a person on your own, it makes it easier to accept, like it says, start accepting Bitcoin payments with no fees and no third party. Although you sort of have to use a third party, but it's basically it's like a middleman, so you just basically, that goes through them and then comes to you. So I've actually sort of looked into it. It looks quite interesting. You can put like donate buttons on your website, you can accept payments, you can create stores, all that kind of stuff. On the little animation there, no middleman, and obviously I referred to it that there is sort of a middleman or a third party. Basically what it is, you have to hook up to a third party server. So like I say, it's a mediary between the person that is depositing and then you receiving. It's basically just a server point that then basically passes that on to you. I'm sure they do receive a fee for that, but that fee does not come out of your money. It basically, the person sending it, I believe, pays the fee. So you're not losing anything. So it might be something that's worth looking into. Okay, so let's get back to the node itself. So the other cool thing is I think they've added at least one more wallet to the system, which is great, because I believe that Zap, when I first started up, Zap was about the only wallet that was available. So it's cool that you've got at least 3 more now. But anyway, so basically if we just scroll down here, you can see this is the hardware that is required if you are building a node. I can't actually understand this price. When I built mine, admittedly, that price might be if you're using the Raspberry 4B. I used the Raspberry 3B Plus, and the whole thing cost me like, I think it was like £30, like $50 or something like that. Admittedly, I did use a reclaimed hard drive, so I didn't actually, well, I paid for it initially, but I didn't have to buy a new one. And I got a 16 gigabyte SD card, which I paid for, and then a power supply as well. So I still don't understand where they're getting this price from, unless all of a sudden the popularity of Lightning nodes has gone up massively, and whoever is selling these is just basically cashing in on it. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to go and grab the image to basically write to your SD card. Just to let you know, in the description there will be a couple of links which you can click on, and that will basically take you to Amazon, and where you can just buy a full kit, and you can also buy the little box and the LCD and all that lot. There's a couple of links. If you click on them, go and check that out. Obviously, the main reason I sort of suggest that those particular kits is because the power supply actually comes with an on-off switch. I've watched so many videos of people talking about Lightning nodes or building Lightning nodes, and they literally have a power supply, and when they want to reboot the Lightning node, they're just pulling out the power. They're just pulling out the cable. You know, there's no on-off switch. They're just pulling it out, which for me, I just think that just is putting a big strain on things like connections and stuff like that. And eventually they'll wear, they'll get, you know, and for me, an on-off switch is the best way to go. So anyway, if you want to go and check that out, obviously you're more than welcome. Okay, so let's go and get the image file. Okay, so if you scroll down the website, you will come to this, installing the software. This is the image file itself. Obviously what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to this page, so rather than a link to the file itself, because the great thing with this website is it is essentially a manual as well, so you can scroll through it, do it, you know, so if you want to build one, it does give you a good walkthrough on how to do that as well. But also as well, like I say, if you go and check out my earlier video, you can actually see me doing it also. So this is a direct download. You also have a torrent download, which at the end of the day, if there's a direct download, I just use the direct download. I think the torrents take a bit longer to download. Also as well, that obviously this image will be the most up-to-date image when it comes to the blockchain, but by the time you've watched this and either reinstalled it on your current Lightning node, or you've built your Lightning node and then loaded this in, you will find it will take a while to basically get up to speed with all the transactions that have happened since basically this being listed, not since me doing the video. So you know, it could take anything up to I mean, if it's a completely new install, using this, it shouldn't, even because you're using the latest version, it shouldn't take that long. It really depends on how fast your internet is. I know when I first did it using version 1.1, which had been out for quite a while, it actually took me, I think it was about 2.5–3 days for my Lightning node to actually catch up with all the transactions on the blockchain. But admittedly, I didn't have the best internet at the time. So obviously most people have 100 to 200 megabytes per second now. I think I was running about 24, 25 back when I did it. So it makes a big difference, and you'll find that obviously it still will take a while, but it shouldn't take 3 days. So, and then basically once you've obviously, if you start, you can then come through here. You can troubleshoot if you have any problems or anything like that. Like I say, this whole thing is a manual. So just, you know, I would just check this out, read through it, get your Balena Atria, your image and stuff like that, and then basically just sort of get on with the process, you know, but understand how and what you're meant to be doing before, so you know, so you can just get on with it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go and basically write the new image, because I have already downloaded it. The image itself is about 2.1 gigabytes, so it did take a little while, but not a massive amount of time. And now what we're going to do is we're going to write that to our SD card, and then we'll plug it into the Raspberry Pi and watch that load up. Okay, so welcome to my desktop. I do like this picture. It's really nice. Sorry about that. Just thought to give you my views on that piece of photography. Anyway, so we'll just wait for the... So obviously now you've got everything that you need. What you now need to do is get your Lightning node itself. This is my Lightning node here. Turn it on its side so the bottom is facing you. You will see the SD card just there on the right hand side, and just pull that out with a pair of tweezers, or you know, because I don't think you'll get in there with your fingers because it's a very tiny little slot. And then obviously put it into an SD card reader. And then once this is loaded, plug it in to your computer. So if we go and select the image, so there's the image, and open that. Okay, so and then what we do is we plug our SD card in, and there you go. So that's all ready, and then we go away. All right, calm down. Then we just press flash. And what this will do, this will basically wipe your SD card and then just write the new image over. And the great thing, yes, and the great thing about this and the whole thing with the Lightning node is the fact that the Lightning node itself essentially is just like a computer. So that just displays what information is kept on the hard drive. So because you have your hard drive in an external unit which you plug in to the Raspberry Pi, and the only thing that is actually on the Raspberry Pi, which is on the SD card, is the operating system pretty much, and all the other important information is then transferred to the external hard drive. So if unfortunately you end up with a corrupted operating system on your Lightning node, all you've got to do is take out your SD card, go and get the latest image or the image that you were using, rewrite that to your SD card using this process, plug that back in, and all that will happen is it will basically just have to catch up with those few transactions that have happened between you switching it off and then turning it back on, and that's it. You are back up and running. And that's the great thing, is the fact that like I say, you're not losing anything, because it's all being backed up or put on to that external hard drive. And like I say, the only thing that is actually on the Raspberry Pi is the operating system itself, which is on the SD card. I did in the hardware mentioned or required set bit I showed you, it said it had to get a 16 gig SD card, which is what I had. But I did notice with the Raspberry Pi 4, they're actually telling you to get a 32 gigabyte SD card. So you have to realize that with version 1.1 of this operating system, it was less than a gigabyte, I believe. It was just under 1 gig. Now we're at version 4, we're at 2.1 gig. So obviously the operating systems are most likely going to continue to get larger. So therefore, if you are newly setting up a Lightning node, maybe what you want to do is start with a 32GB SD card. Obviously, because of the process I've just talked about, if you suddenly find that you've ran out of space on your 16GB SD card, I mean that's a good size system at 16GB, you can then just go and buy yourself a 32GB card and just basically write the new image onto it, and that's it. So it's cool. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this because obviously I'm sure this is not the most exciting thing to watch. Pause it, and then we're going to come back just as it's finishing, and we can see how it's gone. Okay, so we've got just a few percent left. We've got about 14 seconds, 15 seconds or so to go. And then I do believe after this it goes into a verifying process. We'll just wait and see. It's been a while since I did this, so it's sort of new to me as well because I can't remember. Okay, so like 6 seconds. It's funny, isn't it? You know, even 5 seconds you think, God, it feels ages. Okay. Oh. Why we've gone back to 53? Oh, I don't know. That's weird. Don't know. Maybe it does a double. Right, I'm going to pause the video and we'll come back. Okay, so what I did was I wasn't sure if me videoing was sort of is what triggered it, but I basically just waited until it came up and said finishing. So there wasn't any sort of a verifying after the flashing. I assume it's just basically finishing and sorting itself out, and then basically hopefully we should have a ready to go image which we can then plug into our Lightning node and just watch it sort of boot up. And I'll do a follow-up video as well, because what I'll do is I'll show you the new RTL user interface. Obviously it has clearly been upgraded. They've made it just a bit sleeker. It was a bit sort of blocky and a bit very basic, the first one, but it did the job, and at the end of the day that is all we are worried about, is if it does the job. But obviously then you do have those extra features that have been added, and I am interested in checking out that sort of BTC pay thing, just sort of, because I think with this Lightning node, it's one of those things that everybody, you know, if you are a user, say you're sending money, say you're a company, you're sending money, you want to be looking for node, or you're going to be looking for nodes that probably offer the most options, the best deals in the way of prices for transfers, all that kind of stuff. So it's one of those things that I think you're always got to be on top of it. If you really want to be making money, you've got to be checking out what your competition are doing and stuff like that. One of the other features as well, which I forgot to mention in there, is that they have a new management feature. So if you like me have connected to a few nodes and you're always on the lookout for new nodes to connect to with the possibility of earning money for transactions, what the new management feature will do, it'll actually give you more detailed information on those channels. So it'll give you things like, you know, what their level of expenditure is, and all those kind of things, so you can then judge when you're you know, whether or not your node is sufficient enough and of a high capacity enough for them to accept you, or you can just say, right, I'm going to waste my time even doing that, so I'll just go and check out another node. So it's good that it gives you that extra bit of information. Okay, so I'm going to quickly pause the video again, and then hopefully we'll all be done. Okay, so it does have a verification, so it basically goes through the flashing, the finishing, and then it validates, which makes sense, because obviously why would it verify if it hadn't finished right in the image? Like I say, it's been a long time since I did this, and so it's you know it's as interesting for me as I hope it is for you, because like I say, these things slip your mind, and it's always good to sort of catch back up with how things work and stuff. So anyway, again, we'll catch up with this in a sec. Okay, so here we are, the last percentage, and cross fingers, we should be done and ready to set up our Lightning node and start rolling. Okay. Oh, now is that default? No, it's saying it's successful. So cross fingers, everything's okay, and Windows is wrong. Okay, so I'm going to pause this. Well, basically, I'm going to finish this video, and then we're going to hook up the Lightning node and watch it boot up and see how it all works. Okay. Okay, guys. So here we are for the big reveal. But if I just scan back, I don't know if you can see what that's resting on. It's sort of like a grey slab of plastic. Basically what that is, and obviously I'm not telling anyone to do this, but that is an old laptop cooler. And what I do is I just sit my Lightning node on top of the fan, so that basically is blowing cool air into the fan, into the box all the time, and keeping it at a nice cool temperature. And obviously you can see there on the side is my external hard drive. Okay, so let's just sort of get in to, and so I've got a little light here trying to provide enough light for you guys to see, but I don't want obviously it to glare. So if I just click the switch, hopefully everything should work okay, and it will come up and say that we have operation system 1.4. Okay, so you can see it's kick-started in, get a nice, very nice little Raspberry Blitz page there, a little logo for you. Sorry for the glare, I'm really trying to, fingers in the way, trying to cut that down. And you can see there on the bar it says 1.4. I'm trying not to give you guys seasickness by how unsteady my hands are. Obviously I realise it's not, there you go, a little slightly better. And so like you see there, the top left hand corner, 1.4. And what you'll find is where it says use password. Every time you reinstall or update the operating system, it will reset all of your passwords. So make sure you have your passwords written down for that very reason. When you restart it though, I think basically it saves all, because there's 4 passwords, and it saves all of them apart from your admin password. And obviously that makes sense, because obviously if you wipe it and then put it in, or if say it means that anybody that could get into your system just purely by wiping it and then loading it back in, if they got your hard drive or whatever, they could access it, because but that's why your admin password is wiped, and but all the other 3 passwords are kept. So the only one you have to reinstall is your admin password. Okay, so got a bit blurred again. Okay, so basically I'm going to leave that there. For those of you that are new to my channel, I want to learn more about how to earn cryptocurrency for free, about cloud mining sites, about crypto investments, and lots of other crypto related stuff, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and don't forget to tag that notification bell. And if you can hit the like button or upvote me. That'd be absolutely brilliant. Really helps out my channel, and then that helps me bring more content to you. Okay, so you take care. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.